have a minion because the Shekhinah rests over 10. So, welcome to Mashiach Share.
I can feel the Shekhinah now.
Today we're going to be learning something a little bit from the Rebbe's Sikha in Tafshin based. Sorry, about the and Parshas Chai Sarah, and basically the Bar Malchus are the latest Sikhas that the Rebbe gave, where he spoke a lot about Mashiach. And they're the last words that we have from him. And I'm not going to go through the whole Sikha, but we'll read a few selections of it and talk about it, a few passages. And this particular Sikha happens to really lay out what our avoda is at the end of Golos and how to usher in the Geula. And really something to think about. So, first passage I'd like to take a look at here is talking about the first shlichus in Torah. And ultimately, what is the goal of shlichus? The beginning here is wedged in the end. And we see how the first shlichus that was in Torah parallels the last shlichus, which is going to be to Kabul Panei Mashiach Tzidikenu B'Pol Mamash, to see Mashiach. Okay. I'll be medubar la'el shekoyach el inyan hashlichus b'klal megia l'shlichus ha'rishonos b'Torah. So now we're talking about the first shlichus that is in the Torah. Hashlichus shesholach Abraham es Eliezer le'seis es hashida shel Yitzchak v'Rivka. So the first shlichus ever in the Torah. Abraham, he's sending out his servant, and he wants to make a shidduch for his son. Move on. Gam kain shekashem sheb'shlichus harishona nasan Abraham hamisholeach. Kol asher Abraham gave everything. He gave everything of himself in this shlichus. The fact that he was fully invested in this. Right? Because in order for the shlichus to be fulfilled in its complete sense, the mishaleach, the one that sends people on shlichus, he has to give everything of himself. In shlichus, we're talking about every one of us here. We're not talking about someone in a Chabad house in Tennessee, right? Or them too. But every one of us here, we're all on a shlichus here to do what the Eibishter wants us to do what the Rebbe wants us to do, and it's to end in Mashiach. Shekola pratim v'inyanim yehichidorim v'nekuda haklalis shel yichud ma v'ban. Right? We're not going to talk about ma and ban. That's for Rabbi Brofman's shir. But this was part of his shlichus. The ultimate goal was to unify ma and ban. There are two different types of mashamas. Ma is an ashama that's focused on just the avoda of the neshama, more of an avoda but tzaddikim. Ban is more avoda b'guf. It's foreign to most of us, I know. Laugh. Okay.
Not to him.
Okay. This is Yitzchak and Rivka. So Yitzchak and Rivka was ma and ban. Yitzchak being the ma, the masculine, Rivka being ban, the feminine. Kamoy came b'chol shlichus v'shlichus shel Yehudi v'shama eshkaini. Every shlichus for a Jew to serve the Eibishter, the Eibishter gives us everything at every second. Ad hakoyach shel atzmusei v'mahusei yisbarach kibiyachol. Sorry. Hakol es kol asher loy kidei lipol es hayichud shel neshama b'guf shel Yehudi b'olam hazeh. In order for the Jew in his body to be unified in his shlichus and his mission down here in this physical world, the olam hazeh gashmi. B'oifen shakol apratim uprate pratim ve'avoda sam shel Yisrael nasim chidurim begilei b'nekuda ve'atachlis ha'achas ve'hayichida. And now he's telling us what is the idea of every shlichus that we have here. What is the tachlis? What is the ultimate sense of every shlichus in Torah? It's in italics here. Hagili shel Mashiach tzidikenu v'shleimus. Shleimus Indian hashlichus yichud ma and ban. Here we see this is the end goal of every shlichus in Torah. As the Rebbe is telling us, the Gili of Mashiach Tzidikenu, and he says it's this unity of Ma and Ban, the unity of Rivka and Yitzchak. And we see here that the beginning is wedged in the end. The very first shlichus is to unify Ma and Ban. That parallels the very last shlichus in Torah, which is to bring Mashiach Tzidikenu. Okay. Hold on tight, boys. Hold on tight. We're going to skip ahead. Another passage here. ומזה מובן שמאחר שהשליחוס עומדים כבר בזמן לאחר במילוי תקיעות עבודת השליחוס בהבאת תורס ביהדות בהבאת מעייני סקוצה. Okay. ובזמן האחר אמצע עבודת השליחוס עד שכבר סימי אס השליחוס. כדס נשיא דרנו הנ"ל. So what we basically said in a nutshell here is we're standing at a time now where the Rebbe says the Nasi Hadarenu, the Frierdiker Rebbe, which we know the Rebbe is telling us this, is that we're basically at the end of the shlichus of spreading Torah and Hasidus. And this can be taken the wrong way. This can be taken as, that's not important. We're no longer spreading Torah and mitzvahs. That's done. We're not saying that it's done. But we're saying that the same Torah and mitzvahs that we've been spreading, the same Mitzvos, the same Torah, the same mitzvahs, everything that we've been doing is taking a new direction now. And it has a new kavanah. And that's not to say that we're ending what we've been doing up until now, but it has a new dimension to it. He's saying, although we have completed everything that we have to do in spreading Torah and mitzvahs and fulfilling it, still, the complete redemption has not come. So we need to say, we see that there still has to be something missing. There still has to be something left. Something that we have to do in order to have the Geula, in order to have Mashiach here. Who and what is it? The Rebbe is saying that in every generation, someone from the lineage of David is born. From the lineage of Yehuda is born, who is fit to be Mashiach. Okay? So in the right time, Hashem is going to send someone from this generation to be Mashiach. This is, again, when he says the Nasi Darenu said, talking about the Frierdiker Rebbe, but we understand this to be talking about the Rebbe to be talking about himself. He might be talking about himself. Hashliach hayachid shebedarenu, right? The one shliach in shebedarenu, hamashiach hayachid shebedarenu, the Mashiach of Darenu, Nasi Darenu. Shekavar simay eskol anyanim. And we're saying that we've already finished everything. What is there left to do? Why is the Geula still not here? Hari move on. It's understood. It's understood here. Shemischil liskayim shalach nabiyata tishlach. Shashlichus shel kavod kedusha as more economy admor, like the shlichus of the Rebbe. Muzem move on. From this we understood. Shehadavar hayachid hanishar achshav bevodas shlichus. What's the one thing that remains in shlichus? What is it? Again, l'kabel pnei Mashiach tzidkenu b'poem mamash. To receive, literally to receive the face of Mashiach, our righteous Mashiach, b'poem mamash, in actuality. So this means now that we're still doing Torah and mitzvahs, we're still fulfilling the shlichus that we've been doing, spreading Hasidus, spreading Yiddishkeit, but it now has this new dimension, this kavanah, where we're told by the Rebbe that this is the time that Mashiach is coming, right? In the past, it wasn't always that way. We were focused on birurim, we were focused on elevating physicality, elevating the sparks. The world was not really ready. And it was enough to just, we're spreading Torah, we're spreading mitzvahs, and that in itself is what we had to do. But now it has to be this new dimension with how are we going to reveal Mashiach in actuality and usher in the Geula. And we see that it's not yet happened. Right? The shlichus is to bring all the Jews out of Goas. Skip ahead a little bit. One more quote of the Sikha here. We have for time, a few minutes. But kavanah b'pashtusi. What's the main kavanah behind all this? Right? Shemikinis hashluchim. And the Rebbe is talking about the kinis hashluchim, the gathering of all the thousands of Chabad shluchim in Tafshin Nud Beis, the very last one where 1992, the very last one where we had the Rebbe speaking in a revealed sense. We need to make positive resolutions. Ketzad kol shliach tzrikis kainen ba'atzmei lahachin es kol b'nei Yisrael v'mkoimoi Right? He needs to prepare all the Jews in his place, in his city, his particular place where he is. He's telling all the shluchim and all the that are from all around the world. You need to prepare everybody in your city to receive Mashiach, right? Al Yadesh who masbir es inyan shel Mashiach, right? Through explaining ideas of Mashiach, through teaching them, right? As explained in the oral Torah and the written Torah. And learning about ideas of Mashiach, like we do Mashiach here every night, is something that the Rebbe strongly advocates. But oifen hamiskabel, it's a key idea in oifen hamiskabel, in a manner that the one who you're explaining the idea to is able to receive it. So if I just run down the street singing, Mashiach is coming! in the middle of, Oklahoma or something, that might not be in a way that they can receive it very well. But if you're talking to someone and you're for bringing and you're talking about Yiddishkeit and Torah and Mitzvos, we need to imbue it with this new idea, not really a new idea, it's been in the Torah all along, that Mashiach is ready to come, and it's here. According to his intellect, and according to his understanding, especially through learning ideas about Mashiach and Geula, bifrat be'oifen shel chachma bina das and Chabad. We use our intellect here. And he says, this is the avoda in this time. This is it. Hari move on. This is shaykh to everybody. This is the avoda of everybody in this time. And he says something very interesting here. Don't exclude yourself from the group, from the majority. We're all doing it. We're all on the spreading Mashiach train. So it could be easy to think, this isn't shaykh for me. This isn't what I have to do. I don't have to go around, talking about Mashiach, spreading the fact that Mashiach is coming. But the Rebbe says this is for everybody, and don't exclude yourself from this. So we see here now that Torah and Mitzvahs is still here. It's still strong, and we're still doing them. We're still spreading it. We're still elevating the world. But it has a new kavana here, and the kavana is that Mashiach is ready, and we have to reveal it Pol Mamish. What that means, we can bring about that for a long time, but we have to end, unfortunately. Go to Parish News here. Maybe we'll get cookies and soda. Yeah.
Shkoya!